Hello and welcome to beautiful Sheboygan, Wisconsin. We're hanging here at Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan. Phil Brylow, Van McNeil here for the 11th annual Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament. What a weekend of activities here, Phil.
And this is the 6th year we've brought to everybody on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. This is undoubtedly the best youth bowling tournament in Wisconsin. 4 great matches today to decide the high school boys, high school girls, college boys, and college girls finals. You know it's going to be quality bowling every time at the Yonan.
This tournament has been going on for 11 years now. Over $170,000 in scholarships. Keith Yonan and the Yonan family completely engaged in the community and handing out these scholarships.
Oh, and the best part about it is that they have $10,000 or $11,000 worth of added scholarship money. This isn't money that kids are putting in as entry fees. This is money that the Yonan family goes out and raises to get the scholarships for this event.
And it's an entire weekend of activities, from a celebrity pro-am to what you were mentioning, all the action that we're going to see over the next few days here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. What are we going to begin with?
We're going to start today out. We're going to start with the collegiate boys match. We're going to go with the high school matches, and we'll finish off today with the collegiate girls.
All right, lots of action coming your way. Don't you go anywhere. We are from Sheboygan. Lakeshore Lanes is the place. The 11th annual Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament. We'll be right back. Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Barbier's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Bluemont Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
All right, time for some bowling action. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow for the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. High school bowling at its best here, Phil, and quite a match here between Tyler and John.
Yeah, we pared down our over 50 bowler field here in the high school boys division down to our final 2. Tyler Sheehy, part of the 2015 and 16 state high school team champs with Sun Prairie. John Halbach, good team bowler as well. His team won in 2014 at high school state with Sheboygan South, and they finished 5th this last year in 2016. So great team bowlers. We'll see how they do individually.
A light hit and a break for Tyler in the first frame. He gets the strike, Phil.
Oh, you gotta like it. We can get out of the gates a little light in the pocket and get the head pin to shake out the 4, 5, and 7. Watch on the replay how strong that head pin comes through the pin deck and does the damage.
Pin action definitely helping him out. Now, Sheboygan's very own John Halbach.
Yeah, John bowls here at Lakeshore Lanes in league and for his high school competition. Another powerful young game and a terrible break for Halbach, leaving the light pocket 410 Van. Very unusual.
Looked like he was on target, but slid away from him there on the backhand just a little bit here as we look at the replay.
Yeah, just unusual that the entry angle that John's using sends the head pin around the 4 pin, and then the light hit leaves the half 10, so a bad break.
But he's going for it.
Not a bad deal right there for John to go for it. Only loses a pin and count early in the game, and you can get that momentum on your side too. You get that big split conversion, kind of take a little something away from your opponent as well if you were to convert that. So I can't blame John Halbach for going for that.
No, but the possibility too, Phil, of being under the TV lights, that tends to changes things as well. But not losing focus here as we move into the second frame for John. Little high here hitting the head pin. Looks like he's still fishing a little bit.
Well, we saw on the Yonan Adult Tournament show on our last show on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel that Lane 3 played a little bit tighter than Lane 4, so you can see the bowlers being a little more square to the pocket on Lane 3. And on a solid entry angle strike, sometimes you creep a little high and it leaves that 4 pin. And I think he needed that in the last shot.
Yes, my goodness. Straight and hard to the spare, or do you do like Tyler or like John did there, and oh my goodness, just enough paint on the pin there to take it out?
Well, that would have made the 410 for him that he left in the first frame, but some bowlers like to take the scenic route for their cross lane spares, and Halbach being one of them. We'll see Tyler Sheehy go firm and straight at his spares.
In the second frame, though, a strike for Tyler. No need to shoot at the spares when you can strike all game. That's a goal, obviously, but spares are super important.
Oh, the big opening double here for Sheehy. Put the pressure on your opponent right away. They're stepping up in the third frame looking for a turkey. You can just see the same pre-shot routine for Sheehy and Halbach. Every time they step up, they go through the same motions. They make sure they're mentally prepared getting up on the approach. And you see with Sheehy here playing a little tighter line on both lanes than Halbach. It's helped him with his carry so far.
Great, solid pocket strike for Sun Prairie High School's Tyler Sheehy.
And a little walk out of that strike by Sheehy, letting your opponent know that, hey, I've got the first three, I'm locked. It's going to be up to you to come back and get some strikes on the board. And Sheehy almost left the solid 8-pin on that shot.
Over to John Halbach in the third frame. Sheboygan's very own. Oh, got a break. Almost had the 7-10 there.
And you can see just the difference in entry angle with Halbach being a little farther left on the approach than Sheehy. Ball's looping in a little bit farther behind the head pin. Ooh, got a good break to take the 7 out on that shot, leaving just the 10. And Halbach trying to stare down both pins to no avail.
The easy 10-pin conversion for John Halbach, a 2016 State High School singles qualifier. Seeing some pressure here under the TV lights, but still the ability to bounce back as we move into the fourth frame.
Well, and you're in your home center, too. You've got all your family and friends and people that bowl league with you here at Lakeshore Lanes. They're watching as well, so probably a little self-added pressure to Halbach right now, but, you know, you got to look back and think, hey, these people are all cheering me on, they're rooting me on, they want me to win. Use that to your advantage. Get that psychology going with your fans getting louder.
And John has been in those pressure situations before, as being a high school state champ in 2014, a fifth-place state team finish in 2016 with Sheboygan South. So he's been in those pressure situations before, but still having some problems here finding the pocket.
Yeah, and I think he's trying to play both lanes the same way. And with the little extra hook on lane 4 on the back end, it's giving him a little bit of off on lane 3. He's going a little high. He's trying to play it a little straighter, and it's just something he's running out of frames to figure out. But he's going to have to do it very soon. He's almost already in mandatory strike mode to catch up to what Sheehy's putting on the board.
Sheboygan's John Halbach down but not out. Over to Sun Prairie now. And Tyler Sheehy, who's thrown 7 300s for Sun Prairie. My goodness.
Yeah, 5 individual and 2 Baker 300s with his team. And when you're the anchor bowler having a chance to shoot for 300 on a Baker team game, that's a little more pressure than going for your own 300, knowing that your teammates are sitting behind you, wanting that 300 to get finished that they helped contribute to.
Another solid pocket shot for Sun Prairie's Tyler Sheehy with the ham bone fill. Look at this ball as it enters the pocket, just demolishes that deck.
The last 2 for Sheehy, no doubters, flush in the pocket. And now he's stepping up in that high 5 gear 5th frame, and once again, high 5 gear awarding a $25 gift certificate towards the purchase of one of those sharp jerseys like Tyler's wearing, or any accessory.
Visit them online at high5gear.com. Misses the pocket, comes in high in the 5th frame.
A little left and a tad slow along with it. Tried to fit the ball. Easy to do when one lane's playing a little bit tighter for you. You try to throw a quality shot, you get a little slow and a little left with it, and next thing you know, you slice through the face. Good break for Sheehy, though, taking the 9-pin out from behind that 3-6-10, so this should be a little easier spare for him.
The ham bone going for the spare here. Tyler's highest series, an 823. Conversion of the spare for Tyler, looking good.
And you don't shoot 823s just by throwing a bunch of strikes. You got to leave those spares and pick them up in those 800s as well. So you don't hear everybody shooting 800 series with 5 open frames.
All right, over to Sheboygan's very own John Halbach in the 5th frame, looking for a strike.
How about some high 5 gear gift certificate cash?
There we go, absolutely. High5gear.com to go do some shopping, and he gets to.
And Halbach not out of this yet. He's down by 42 at this point in time, but his maximum score is still 245 if he can go off the sheet. Sheehy right now going obviously at a 277 maximum, but if Sheehy gets a spare or 2 in there and Halbach can keep striking, he has a chance to come back in this match. Looking for the double.
Brooklyn side almost couldn't take out the 5-pin.
He just got to the line real fast. Feet are there before your Bowling ball gets by your ankle, your body turns, ball goes to the left. No break on the Brooklyn hit, leaving just a 5-pin, but it should be a pretty easy spare for him to get into our commercial break for this game, Van.
Sheboygan's John Halbach with 1 300 game in his high school career so far, a 794 series. That'll take us to break. John with the conversion and more of the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship from Sheboygan next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. And welcome back to Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan, the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. A battle here between Tyler Sheehy of Sun Prairie and John Halbach of Sheboygan. Looking at Tyler Sheehy here in the 6th frame, Phil. He has been on point so far.
Yes, he has, and he's done well on our TV shows so far this year. Back in December, you saw him win the Junior Hall of Fame tournament with his teammate Chad Dembski and the adult Hall of Famer Andy Mills. So a good year on TV so far for Sheehy, and looking to add to his title run here. Comes back after a 5th frame spare with a 6th frame mixer strike.
Yeah, I was just going to say 4 in a row, the first 4 in the 5th frame, 7 spare, and another strike there for Sun Prairie's Tyler Sheehy. Can he do it again in the 7th?
Looking to get score here up 277, still possible. That's the highest game we've ever had on our Sean Yonan Championship shows, thrown by A.J. Johnson.
Oh, of all
back
people.
in 2012 against Kyle Anderson in that final. Kyle Anderson, who won our college boys championship last year, he's graduated from college, won't be here this year to defend his title, but we'll see the man he beat last year and his college teammate, Kyle Krol, when we get to our college boys finals a little later today.
Right now the focus on Sheboygan's very own John Halbach in the 7th. And almost gets the ultimate break of a strike, but got lucky there with just the 5-pin.
Yeah, can't quite crumble out the bucket. Gets the 2 and the 4 to fall on the light hit. 5 sits and wobbles on him. And I think John's got the right ball in his hand. I think he's just trying to hook it too much on lane 4 and keep it too straight on lane 3. If he could find a happy medium, maybe move a board right with his feet on lane 4 and a board left with his feet on lane 3, he'd probably be a little bit better with his carry once he got to the pocket area.
Always nice to have someone to talk to, a partner on the lanes there to help you out in situations like this.
Oh, absolutely. And he's got his youth coach here from Lakeshore Lanes, Dan Rordink, always a big part of the Lakeshore Lanes youth program. Dan's back cheering him on.
Oh, couldn't knock out that 10-pin, the wrap 10.
That's probably his best shot of the afternoon on TV. He had some great shots earlier to make it to this championship match for the high school boys. He started his 2-game semifinal match against Tyler Sheehy's brother Quinn with the front 8 to get that match locked up very early. So a little family revenge here going on for Tyler Sheehy, but John Halbach has had a heck of a day getting to this TV show.
And this is the focus here, kids. John is down, but he's not out. He's still focused, he's still professional, and he's still converting his spares.
Well, that's exactly it. Every shot's a learning experience, especially when you're under the lights. You're going to be going to college pretty soon. You're going to be in pressure situations.
You have to compose yourself. You have to be professional.
And you never know when a situation that you were in earlier in your career, you can relate to it back and make that proper move on the lane or make that little adjustment that carries shots. And there's one that I think if you ask Tyler, you can tell him he got away with it. He's got the right piece of equipment in his hand.
The kid has been automatic, Phil. Tyler Sheehy, Sun Prairie High School. The first 4, like I said, in the 5th frame, 7 spare. Strike, strike. He just had the turkey. Can he strike out here?
I don't know. A.J. Johnson, we got on the sidelines right now. I don't know if A.J.'s cheering for him to strike out. I mean, they've bowled in many tournaments against each other. over the years. Tyler's even bowled a PBA regional just to get some experience.
And another ham bone for Sun Prairie High School's Tyler Sheehy. He is automatic, Phil, looking great.
Yeah, and that locks up the match already in the 9th frame for Tyler. So now it's just coming up in the 10th when it's his chance again to go through and try to tie that all-time TV high score here at the Sean Yonan Memorial. Too bad he didn't carry that one in the 7th, because he would have had the shot at the $300 perfect game scholarship.
And I was going to ask if we've had a 300 game here on youth high school television.
No, we've not had a 300 game out of our youth bowlers in the 8+ years we've had it on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
All right, kids, you've heard it. Someone's got to bowl a 300 here soon. Could it be you?
Halbach with a great shot there. Tighten up the line a little bit. Like I said, he was just trying to hook it a little too much on lane 4. Straightens it out a bit. Gets everything to kick out. And now the good shot. Try to go out big in the 10th.
Yeah, keeping his composure, being professional. Halbach and cannot buy a break today. My goodness.
You know, if he doesn't convert this, he's going to be 170 or 171, depending what his count is. And he threw the ball like a 220 or 230 game.
Absolutely.
He had a bad break in the first. One really horrific shot, and the 6th was his only bad shot where he crossed over left the 5-pin.
Couple of wrap 10s in there as well, and then this final bad break.
Yeah, so he threw the ball better than the score represents, no doubt about that.
Almost with the 4-9 conversion for Sheboygan's very own John Halbach.
Well, now let's see what Sheehy can do here, stepping up in the 10th frame. Can he tie our all-time TV record?
A.J. Johnson with a 277?
Back in 2012. And AJ's going to be handing that winner's trophy over to Tyler Sheehy after we're done with this game. Good to have AJ up as the pro representing.
4 in a row. There's 5 for Tyler Sheehy. My goodness. If he goes off the sheet, Phil, we're looking at what?
277, the tie.
Oh, boy. And then that means an automatic roll-off between A.J. Johnson and Tyler Sheehy, right?
I don't know if AJ's got his stuff with him. He may still have it in the car probably after the AJ took part in the Sean Yonan Memorial Open prior to this tournament. So good thing to have AJ on board bowling and taking home a little money back over the border. Finished in the top 8 of that event.
Oh, came in a little high on that one. Didn't get the break. 287.
Yeah, you see on the left side of your picture there, you see his coach next year out at UW Whitewater, Sean Wachner, sitting there with Tyler's mom and dad, getting everything done. And
couldn't convert the spare. That's where you want to do that, is in the 10th frame. So we will see more from Tyler Sheehy as the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial High School Tournament continues here at Lakeshore Lanes.
I'm Ronald Hicklin. This is that purple stuff. It's a bowling ball cleaner for use during competition. What that means is more consistent reaction, more consistent performance, and ultimately a longer lasting bowling ball. Make sure you check that out, ctdbowling.com.
Now let's bring in our high school boys champion, Tyler Sheehy. Tyler, come on in. Great bowling, man. Started with the front 4. And as you said before, you just were going to make quality shots out there. It didn't look like you needed a crowbar at all to pry it off your hand.
Nope. I mean, not all of them were the best, but the carry was all in my favor, so it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, and I saw your coach next year, Sean Wachner, and your mom and dad cheering you on. And I think Sean's going to expect a lot of strikes out of you next year at Whitewater.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I'd like to thank John Brunig for helping me out throughout my youth years. So it's been pretty fun, and it's been a journey. So looking forward to continuing it.
Well, and to top off your high school career here, Keith Yonan, scholarship money for you.
Well, Tyler, congratulations. Top seed today. Ran through the field pretty well today and a great game at the end. Congratulations.
Thank you.
$750 scholarship for you today.
And the hardware from A.J. Johnson.
Great bowling, man. As a past winner, it's my pleasure to present this to you. You bowled great all day today, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Even get the signature with it.
Yeah, that autograph's going to be worth something someday. You know that.
You gave my high game on TV in this tournament a run. I was getting worried, but at least it went to someone. That's good, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
Another great match here from Lakeshore Lanes coming up. Join us back in just a moment after this short break.
It is time for the ladies. We are in Sheboygan for the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. Who are we looking at here in this match, Phil?
Well, Samantha Mueller leading things off. Samantha out of Fond du Lac. Strong teams they always have out of Fond du Lac High School. Their boys bowled very well this year at High School State. Girls just missing the state tournament.
In the first frame for Samantha. Crossed over directly into the head pin.
Yeah, and this tough pattern that these bowlers are finding out here, pattern we saw for the adult championship on our last show, dead man's curve. And you know, Van, dead man's curve, you don't play that line just right and you don't stay deep enough on the lane, it does not want to come back for you.
I'm here to tell you that I tried the dead man's curve and it was no fun at all. I died out there. It was a horrific death. The complete opposite of how Sam is opening up this first frame.
Yeah, and definitely difference in styles and different in form, different in size here between the diminutive Kaitlyn Keith.
Sam
and
coming,
tall
Sam's coming in at 5'8", while Kaitlyn is a little shorter at 5'2", but still scrappy nonetheless. Comes in with a single pin.
Yeah, powerful games. Both bowlers coming high on their first shots. First time under the TV lights for them. So that's always, getting that first one out of the way is always a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
And even with all the experience that Kaitlyn's brothers Adam and Ryan had on our telecasts over the years with our U Challenge Series shows here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel, you only get so much information from the family before you have to experience yourself under the lights.
Kaitlyn Keith out of Bloomingdale, Illinois. Moving on to the second frame. Lake Park High School is where she used to bowl and is going to St. Ambrose University in Iowa.
Yeah, that's where her brothers Ryan and Adam both attended college and both bowled for the Bees out there, the Fighting Bees of St. Ambrose.
Kaitlyn Keith, second frame here in Sheboygan. And there we go. Nerves are taken care of. Shake them off. Strike.
Yeah. Taking advantage of lane 3, being a little bit tighter, taking advantage of a little straighter line. And watch that ball when it gets in the pocket. Just gets enough of the 5-pin to splash it out.
All right, back home to Fond du Lac we go here. Samantha Mueller in the second frame, shaking off those nerves. Can she strike?
Long follow through for Samantha Mueller. And
pretty release. Oh, my goodness.
Just 10 flush. These ladies are coming out here. Might be their first time under the TV lights, but they're not scared of the pins or of the lights right now.
Just effortless. Look at that ball roll smoothly into the pocket. Looking great.
Well, and both these bowlers are showing you, even with their difference in height, that proper leverage at the bottom of the swing is what gives the rotation to the ball. So no matter if you're tall or short, you get to the line, you're well leveraged. You can get that ball to rub up nicely, and a nice double.
That pin deck explodes. Nice revolutions on the ball. A double for Fond du Lac's Samantha Mueller.
So both bowlers bowling well all day long to make the TV show. And this unique format they have at the Sean Yonan Memorial Tournament where they put all the bowlers in a 16-bowler bracket. And they roll 2-game matches until they get to the TV show. And then all of a sudden you got to change your thinking. Now it's like, oh, I don't have time for mistakes. I only have one game to win this championship. But right now Kaitlyn Keith needs to figure out lane 4 in a hurry.
Yeah, it looks like she missed her target here in the third frame.
Yeah, she's gone high twice on this lane, so I'm sure she'll be making that adjustment. Switches to that polyester ball for the spare. Try to take the chop out of play.
Absolutely. Straight directly to your spare and converts it.
Trophy Athletic, our friends there, help us get all our awards together for our TV shows for our youth bowlers. If you need awards for anything, you need something work-related, give out nice gifts to your employees, looking for bowling trophies, golf trophies, any trophies you need, see them down at Old World 3rd Street or go to trophyathletic.com.
I love them down there on Old World 3rd. That means I can go to Usinger's and get some sausage, too.
Right across the street, yes, indeed. And, boy, Kaitlyn Keith would like to send that 7-pin across the street.
Absolutely. No break this time.
Well, we saw in the first frame, or pardon me, the second frame, her first shot on lane 3, similar shot. Head pin got over and took the 7-pin out before the 5 got there. This time the head pin kind of lays in the flat gutter. 5 doesn't do the job on the 7.
Oh, my goodness. The missed spare.
Mental mistake, Van.
It happens, and especially first time on TV, under the TV lights, that can mess with your head.
and she maybe missed that by an inch, but it doesn't take much. And on these flatter patterns, these PBA type patterns, these kids are probably shooting spares a little bit different than what they do on house patterns.
And you can see it there in Sam's reaction. It came in, it looked like it was going right into the pocket and just grabbed there at the back end at the last minute. See, right there.
Yep, lane 4 just hooking that little bit more on the back end of the lane. That's all it takes for a shot to come up, which would have been flush on lane 3, and it's 4-pin high. And I'm sure she's going to learn from her opponent's mistake there. Hooks at the 4-pin.
That's how you convert the spare there. In the fourth, a spare for Fond du Lac's Samantha Mueller.
And that's one thing, too, is that when they're shooting at right side spares after this condition's been used for a while in polyester, they know the ball's going to hook a little bit because the bowlers have worn away some of the oil. No lefties so far on the TV pair today, so entirely fresh. So Kaitlyn thought, oh, maybe that ball would hook a little bit towards the 7-pin. It never wrinkled.
And made a little bit of an adjustment, but it looked like it was ball speed that got Samantha Mueller this time in the fifth.
Yeah, and back-to-back pocket 4-pins. And it's not going to take a big move for her to get back into the pocket, but it's something that she's going to have the commercial break to sit over and think about. She gets to watch Kaitlyn Keith throw a couple more shots, so Samantha Mueller have a little time to analyze what she needs to do in the second half of this game.
Absolutely. Phil, you were talking about the adults and how the transition was similar. It's funny to see the same thing happening here with our youth bowlers.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you even look at these young ladies, you look at the ball speed and rev rate they have, and very comparable to a lot of players that bowl league. Your average male bowler is 17 miles an hour and about a 280 rev rate. Both these ladies right about that on the speed and a little higher on the rev rate, and a great shot in the high five gear fifth frame.
Absolutely. Visit highfivegear.com for your gear.
Good old custom jerseys. Love wearing mine while I bowl. Got to wear it during the Pro-Am here. The Celebrity Pro-Am was in my...
You were looking sharp.
Myself.
You were looking sharp out there.
We got to get you one to join Mike Jakubowski and I next year, so we're looking sharp in our high five gear jerseys from the Pro-Am.
Absolutely. Looking forward to bowling this tournament and spending another beautiful weekend here in Sheboygan as Kaitlyn Keith takes us to break with the strike. More from Sheboygan and Lakeshore Lanes, the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. We'll be right back. It's Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Welcome back to Sheboygan, Lakeshore Lanes for the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. All about the ladies here. A little rivalry, Wisconsin versus Illinois. Fond du Lac's Sam Mueller, who we're seeing now, taking on Bloomingdale, Illinois' Kaitlyn Keith.
Samantha Mueller looking to bounce back off a couple of pocket 4-pins.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the solid 9-pin. Oh.
And this just shows you it's not about how much the ball hooks, it's where the ball hooks, where the ball rolls. The ball has such a strong roll, even with a subtle entry angle into the pocket. Rolls past the 9-pin, chops the 5 off the 9, nothing even close to taking
no
the 9
deflection,
down.
Nothing there. Directly through, do not pass go, but do pick up the spare, and she does, Samantha Mueller.
And it just goes to show, these kids are learning more and more about the game every time they bowl. They know it's not about how much the lane hooks. They know it's not about how much they throw the ball, how fast they're throwing. It's about making the ball work at the right pocket, part going into the pocket.
Repetition, consistency, hitting your mark every single time. All key parts of this game that we love and sometimes don't love.
Well, Samantha Mueller didn't love that shot. That was just left out of her hand. You can see she goes back right away, gets the wrist device off because she's going to be shooting cross lane at that 10-pin. So they want to flatten out the ball as much as they can out of their hand, take the lane out of play, and those wrist devices don't let you flatten the ball out too well.
Right, a great device to have, but not for your spares. Oh, no.
You could tell on the footwork, Samantha overthought that shot. She was real slow getting into her third and fourth step. All of a sudden, everything gets to the line a little quick. You try to save it, ball gets pulled left, and now Kaitlyn Keith takes over the lead on the bench and working on a double.
My gosh, coming up a couple hours from Illinois, Bloomingdale, Illinois to be exact. Solid pocket strike for Kaitlyn Keith.
And a great shot for 3 in a row, Van. And throwing them like an old pro out there. We've seen her brothers do that
Yeah.
in the past. And Kaitlyn using the right side of the lane when we had her brothers on the TV telecast in the past. Both of them lefties.
The brothers attending St. Ambrose University in Iowa.
The brothers both completed their college eligibility last year. They both graduated, so...
And Kaitlyn follows in suit. And in suit with another strike, the ham bone.
Yes, indeed, and a big lead, and that is the mark of a champion right there. When you get an opening from your opponent, you're sitting on a double, you know you can really extend the lead out by 20 pins by throwing a double.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the mark. That's the mark of a killer champion right there.
Down but not out, Samantha Mueller from Fond du Lac. A little wide, a little light, and a break for a strike.
Yeah, just shove the entire left side of the rack over into the left gutter. 5-pin gets into the 4 and 7 zone, takes them both out, and she's not out of it yet. Maximum score right now for Samantha Mueller, 225. So Kaitlyn Keith, if she were to spare strike out, she would be in the 230s, so there's still room for Samantha Mueller, but it's going to take a little bit of help.
That's the proper way to answer back after an open there. And gets lucky on the Brooklyn side, Phil.
Well, we saw Kaitlyn Keith in the 6th frame throw a Brooklyn strike as we got in the commercial break. We're even at one Brooklyn apiece now, so neither bowler can say, oh, the other one got a better break than I did. Nope, you're even at one apiece, and now it's down to Kaitlyn Keith stepping up. If she can fill in the last couple of frames here, she can take home this championship.
From Bloomingdale, Illinois in the 9th. 5 in a row for Kaitlyn Keith, my goodness.
And the last 3 have been nothing but flush. No doubt, splitting the rack, 10 back. This one pretty much splits the 8 and the 9 pin. That's what the bowlers are looking for. Going through the pin deck on the Pro Tour, that's when they know they're throwing it the best. That's when they know the ball is most effective in the pocket. And now for Kaitlyn Keith, she just needs a spare and good count here to lock up the championship.
Ooh. Trying to get lucky on the Brooklyn side to solidify it with a strike, but really a stone 9.
All right now, if she converts this and gets 9, that's 226. That would be enough for the win. The most that Samantha Mueller can get by striking out in the 10th frame is 225. So I think you're going to see Kaitlyn take a little extra time, make sure she's lined up properly. She's going to switch to that polyester ball.
Take a deep breath. Needs this one to stay alive.
See how flat she came out of that van, just to make sure very little rotation on the ball so it doesn't hook. Now the tough part's done. You'd think it should be pretty easy to get 9. You've done it for the last 7 frames.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with Ben Pilardi in our adult championships here.
Right.
Where sometimes 3 counts were in play, so we can't guarantee anything yet. But 9 for Kaitlyn Keith would be a winner.
Anything can happen in this crazy game of bowling. Great matches when they come down to the wire. Needs a 9 count. Almost had the 8 count. Got lucky. Kaitlyn Keith.
Well, you could tell the nerves were in play in the 10th frame. She knew what she needed to win. She would have rather had the strike on the first ball. She would have rather had both shots in the pocket. But that is enough to lock up the title with the 226 game. Samantha Mueller came back. And unfortunately for her, that missed 10 pin she had in the 7th frame is kind of haunting her a bit, because now she still would have a chance to win if she would have made that spare. Unfortunately for her now, she's just trying to go off the sheet. You see the head shake at the ball return. She knows how important that 10 pin was. And Van, what do you always like to say?
Make your spares, kids. And I should practice what I preach, because it was horrendous over this past weekend in Sheboygan for me. Look at that, the ham bone for Samantha Mueller.
They always fall when you don't need them to.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. No pressure. You can swing nice and easy. And Samantha Mueller trying to finish out big here. No doubt about it.
Sam shaking her head earlier just goes to show that consistency and picking up your spares is key, because you never know when that door could open and you have a chance.
Just looking to finish things off here, and boy, 2 more great matches coming up yet, Van. We got our college division, our boys coming up next.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. More bowling action from Sheboygan. It's the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Open here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Let's bring in our champion, Kaitlyn Keith. Kaitlyn, come on in. Boy, something your brother's going to do here up in Sheboygan over all those years. Bring home the Yonan Memorial title. How does it feel for your first time under the lights, bringing home the title?
It feels fantastic. I just did my best to stay calm and take it one shot at a time, and it ended up working out. So.
Did you peek at the scoreboard, knew what you needed on that last shot to lock it out?
No, I didn't.
Well, you got it there. You got the 9 you needed. You're taking home this title. And Keith, how much scholarship money do you have for Kaitlyn today?
Well, Kaitlyn, I have a $750 check and scholarship for you today. I want to congratulate you on being the first Keith to walk home with a Yonan title. So congratulations.
And, of course, the hard word from someone your brothers are very familiar with from their youth and college bowling days, A.J. Johnson.
Very close family friend. As a past champion, it's my honor to give this to you.
Thank you.
Great bowling. Congratulations.
Great bowling and great luck the rest of the season getting a junior gold.
Thank you.
And we're going to be back with the next match from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan for the Yonan Memorial in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned.
The Yonan Memorial weekend of tournaments started on Friday night with the Celebrity Pro-Am right here at Lakeshore Lanes. 24 5-person teams took to the lanes to have some fun, throw some strikes, and raise some money for the scholarship fund for the youth championships. You're seeing today, over $8,000 was raised. There's some good celebrity sightings. AJ Johnson from the PBA Tour, the host professional this week. And Mike Jakubowski, the announcer of the PBA on ESPN, throwing some fine shots as well. More action coming in the 2016 Yonan Memorial Youth Championships. The College Boys Finals will start to roll after this short break. Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Welcome back to Lakeshore Lanes here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin for the 2016 Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. College boys finals time, Phil.
Yes, indeed. Our high school championships decided. Now we're on the college side of the equation. Starting with the college boys. Kenny Ryan, junior Team USA member out of Ocean, New Jersey, but he bowls in Chicago for Robert Morris, Illinois. Great standout member of that program, and you can see why, Van.
Pretty release, looking effortless in the first frame for New Jersey's Kenny Ryan.
And you can see why he's on Junior Team USA. You can see why he's part of the Intercollegiate Team Champions for Robert Morris University in Chicago. Just smooth. Just call him glass.
The nice thing about the Yonan here is the talent that it brings, not only from Wisconsin, but from all over the Midwest and the nation. We go here to Kyle Krol from Illinois.
Yeah, Kyle from Tinley Park, and we've seen Kyle since he's been in high school. Our telecast here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel was in this collegiate boys final last year against the human pretzel, Kyle Anderson. Kyle came back late in the game, Anderson, to beat Kyle Krol. So Mr. Krol looking for a little revenge here at the Yonan Memorial.
Looking for a double here in the second frame. Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan, a beautiful facility, and thanks to everyone here for hosting us. Everyone has been great.
Oh, and especially thanks to Keith Yonan and his family for another great year of scholarship bowling here for the Yonan Memorial Youth Championships. They're awarding over $13,000 in total scholarships this year, Van.
And it's in its 11-year run, Phil, over $170,000 and much more funds and much more fun to be had here in Sheboygan in the years to come.
Oh, absolutely, especially when they bring up pros like A.J. Johnson. We've had pros in the past. We've had Parker Bone III, Tom Smallwood, Leanne Hulsenberg. So that's always a great part of the weekend for these kids, is to see some of the pro bowlers they really like to watch on TV.
And this is one of your future pro bowlers, without a doubt, New Jersey's Kenny Ryan, crossing over there a little bit, coming in flush on the head pin.
Well, lane 4, hooking a little bit more for both players. We saw that on our adult show when we had Andy Mills on. He had some struggles with lane 4. So looking to get that equation solved.
Kenny Ryan with the easy conversion. in the second frame. 22,300 games, Phil, in his career. My goodness.
But look at that high series for Kenny Ryan, though, Van.
867.
Yeah, that's one, possibly two tops errant shots out of 36.
Consistency. And this kid has it.
Yeah.
Kenny Ryan out of New Jersey.
Yeah, last year in the Tournament of Americas down in Fort Lauderdale, 6 medals out of 6 events in that competition for youth bowlers. And you can see when you're shredding racks like that, Van, you can see why you can take home a lot of medals from Florida if you're on a good hot streak.
Effortless and smooth for Kenny Ryan. As we look at the replay, it just comes right in. That pin action, though, almost got him. Almost cost him a 10-pin there.
Yeah, a little light on the 5 getting into the 10, but the head pin does some damage on the way back across. Take it out. Now Kyle Krol looking for a 20-pin advantage if he can strike here.
In the third frame, looking for the turkey, and he gets it.
You know, one thing you notice with a bowler like Kyle Krol, we saw him when he was in high school. He was a little more herky-jerky. The head wasn't steady. Footwork was a little off from the swing, and these kids get such great coaching when they're in college that they're coming out and they're not Pro Tour ready. Very rarely like a Marshall Kent, but they're close. They're really close. They can go out and they can be competitive on the PBA Regional Tour, and if they wanted to go out and keep working towards being a PBA Tour bowler, a lot of bowlers like Kyle Krol here and Kenny Ryan, they're really close at this point in time in their careers.
Absolutely. The future looks bright for the Professional Bowlers Association. Bad break here in the fourth frame for Kyle.
Yeah, creeps a little high, playing that little bit of a tighter line on this dead man curve pattern. And 2-pin just doesn't do the job on the 4. You look at Kyle Krol's reaction there. He knows it wasn't the greatest shot. Maybe I'll get the break. Well, now I just got to make the spare.
Talking about the PBA and what they've done for youth and how this youth movement, got a break there. There's a youth movement for the PBA, the Walter Rays and Norm Dukes, as they make their exit. It's time for the new breed to come up.
Well, you got Anthony Simonson and Jesper Svensson, who are having great years, who are both 19 and 21 years old, respectively. You have Trey Ford III on the PBA Regional Tour, and over Easter weekend, Trey Ford III finished 5th in a PBA Regional event at 15 years of age.
15 years old, even younger and younger.
Yeah, so some of these kids are not looking at college as a bowling option. They're looking to get competitive while they're in high school, while they're in college, and go out and they've got the game for the Pro Tour. Why not try it while they're young?
Absolutely. Lots of scholarship money out there, parents, and if you're considering a future in bowling, go to your local bowling center. They can point you in the right direction. A bad break here, though, in the fourth frame for Kenny Ryan.
Yeah, gets only the 6-pin out of the 6-8, and a big hole. 31 pins the deficit now between Kenny Ryan and Kyle Krol. And Ryan just struggling a bit on that right lane. Gets up on lane 3 here. He's been 2 for 2 on this lane this match.
Using an Ebonite Turbo X along with a Hammer Arson Low Flare Solid for his arsenal today, and mixes up those pins here in the fifth frame.
Yeah, just shove the 5-pin into the 610 zone. That's another $25 high 5 gear gift certificate awarded. I want to thank Todd Mulbeck and the whole crew over at High 5 Gear for everything they do for our Time Warner Cable Sports Channel telecasts.
Absolutely great looking jerseys. Of course, your game, your passion online at high5gear.com. To the fifth frame now, and Kyle Krol out of Illinois.
And
that was pretty, but it did creep a little high. Looks like the back end, like we've seen earlier today, it's starting to get these guys too.
Well, with the high rev, high speed game that Kyle Krol has, he can take oil off the back end of the ling pretty quick. And with already 2 matches under the belts on this pair, you're looking at maybe having to make a line changer for Kyle Krol here in order to stay in the pocket. So I'm sure it'll probably be 2 boards left with his feet on the approach, 1 board left with his target, and use that same break point area.
While Kenny Ryan is throwing an Ebonite and a hammer, Kyle Krol throwing a Rotogrip high wire, and of course your traditional plastic ball to pick up your spares. Just coming in with the 1 ball, that's all you need.
Yeah, well, high wire, pretty aggressive. You can see it, early rolling ball, fighting this dead man curves pattern. The 42 feet in length. And
got a break.
He made a bigger move than 2 and 1. That was more like a 4 and 2 move. 4 boards left with his feet, and 2 boards.
An over adjustment.
Yeah.
And looks like he really picked up the ball speed there a little bit. That could have been a factor, too.
Yep. And you can see just no drive, no 5, as the old saying goes.
Absolutely. Instead, the conversion of the 7-pin here. Absolutely. More from Sheboygan. Don't you go anywhere. Much more bowling to come. It's the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship from Lakeshore Lanes. You are watching some great bowlers from across the nation right here in Sheboygan. Lakeshore Lanes is the place for the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow. This match, Phil, New Jersey versus Illinois. Some great talent here in Sheboygan.
Absolutely. Everybody coming up here, they're fighting out for that $750 first place scholarship prize in the college boys division. Kenny Ryan looking to get back into this match. Struggled on this lane so far. A spare and an open.
Not here in the 6th frame, though. A solid pocket shot for New Jersey's Kenny Ryan.
Well, and that's tough to do, getting out of the commercial break, sitting around, waiting for something to happen. You know you've struggled on the lane. You got to get it figured out, and it looks like Kenny's done that with that shot, and he can cut Kyle Krol's lead down to single digits if he can get his string out to 3 in a row here, Van.
Like he said, Kenny's arsenal today, he's using an Ebonite Turbo X there. Hammer Arson Low-Fair solid as well. Looking for a turkey here in the 7th frame, New Jersey's Kenny Ryan.
Love how relaxed that left shoulder is in the setup. Just hangs loose. Hangs loose all the way through the shot. 10 back. Perfect.
That is a Parker Bonish type release. That is pretty.
Yeah, difference between Parker and Kenny really is just the shoulder position at release. Parker a little more upright with the shoulders. Follow through goes through to the left side of Parker's face, where if you watch Kenny, his follow through goes towards the center of his face, his shoulder and his spine tilt a little farther to the left, but both very relaxed at the bottom of the swing and able to put a lot of revs on. And speaking of a lot of revs, watch that go for Kyle Krol.
Oh my goodness. From Tinley Park, Illinois, with a solid strike in the 7th.
And you can see he's flattened out his reaction on the back end as well. So not only has he changed angles on the front part of the lane, he's changed his release a little bit. He's coming a little more up the back of the ball to calm down that back end reaction. Still keeps the strong revolutions, but doesn't let that ball angle through the pocket as hard. And that's the difference between 4 pins in the last couple of shots and a 7-pin. And now he's back striking. Let's see if he can do it again to get his lead back out to 19 pins.
A 2-time Illinois Scholarship Tournament winner, 1-time Greater Iowa Scholarship Tournament winner, and another strike, a double for Kyle Krol in the 8th.
Love watching these high-speed, high-rev players nowadays. I mean, they can just splash pins around the deck, do a bunch of damage at the last 4 feet of the lane. That is fun to watch.
Back in the day, it used to be the guys that palm the ball. Now that transformed into two-handed bowling, but now the rev rates on these balls and the way the kids are throwing them, it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely. There's so many one-handed players that you can watch that still have amazing rev rates. You look at Tom Doherty, as you said, somebody that just palms the ball, or you look at the two-handed players, Asku Palermo, and Jason Belmonte, Jesper Svensson, Anthony Simonson. The amazing amount of damage they can do on a rack of pins, and that has just done damage to Kenny Ryan right there.
That's the flip side. A double-edged sword sometimes when you have so many rev rates. You don't get that pin action. It just cuts right through.
I think he just over-adjusted one to stay firm in the pocket, so he just bumped his feet a little to the right. You get a hair slow at that ball speed, and it just wants to hook right through the nose. Greek church, and almost.
The 4, 6, 7, 8, 10. Have not seen that converted. That's the closest I've come to seeing it, though.
I've made that once in my life, and it was pretty similar to how Kenny did it right there. You slide that 8-pin over. I got a lucky break where it hit off the 10-pin and slid back into the 6. Kenny, without getting that fortunate break, now in mandatory strike mode the last 2 frames just to get to 211.
That's 2 bad breaks in this game. The other one in the 4th frame with the split in the 4th. Bounces back with a strike in the 9th, but it might be too late, Phil.
It may be, especially because right now Kyle Krol just needs to fill a couple of frames here. If he gets spare, he's already in the 220s. Strike here in the 9th frame for Kyle Krol pretty much locks it up with just good count in the 10th frame. So this is the pressure shot for Kyle Krol. You can see almost on top of that ball return. He'll probably walk a little bit to his left once he gets to the end of that ball return, which he does.
Strike. Oh, and he does with a little bit of help.
I don't know if the head pin would have taken that 10 pin out on the messenger, but the 6 pin gets just enough of a lean on the 10, and that's the difference between where you and I would leave that corner pin, Van, is just mere mortals, and the DD-like throw of Kyle Krol gets the 10 to fall.
Showing that reaction, showing that love and that excitement.
Well, he knows now it's just stay behind the foul line, and he's got a little revenge from last year, even though it's not on the same opponent. It's always good when you come in second one year to come back the next year and take the title.
Oh, my. That feels good. Leaving that 10 pin, not so good, but that's a winner nonetheless.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if he misses this 224, he already has that in the bag. Maximum for Kenny Ryan, 211. You just see Kenny back there looking at the scoreboard a little forlornly. And Kenny knows that shot in the 8th frame with the Greek Church, that took any momentum away.
Oh, my goodness. Lose a slight loss of focus there at the end. But like you said, it doesn't matter. He's already got the match.
Yeah, but good height on that spare ball.
Hey, look at
that. At the top of the 10 pin. Hit right at where the curved gutter ends and the flat gutter through the pin deck begins. And got a little altitude with that spare shot. Hopefully,
interesting.
Hopefully didn't take a gouge or anything out of it. Most of the time, no damage to the bowling ball will happen.
Kenny Ryan here going to finish it out and head back to New Jersey.
I think he's got a little school to finish at Robert Morris.
Yeah,
first of
Robert Morris, and then back home a couple more months.
And Robert Morris, they're still in contention on the men's side for the Intercollegiate Team Championships this year down in Wichita. They'll be going on in late April.
The accolades for Kenny Ryan, though, here, looking at the bio sheet. 5th at the InsideBowling.com Open, 12th in the Inside Bowling Holiday Doubles, and then a singles, a bronze in singles, gold in doubles. The accolade that this kid has are numerous.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Junior Team USA competitions he'll be selected to bowl in this summer as well, once that comes around. And I believe this is his last year to be a member of Junior Team USA. He's going to age out, being a senior in college.
New Jersey's Kenny Ryan finishes out the 10th frame here, and that's going to do it. Kenny Ryan out of New Jersey, 191. Kyle Krol out of Tinley Park, Illinois, a 224. Don't go anywhere. The ladies are next. The 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Championship from Sheboygan on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com. Barbier's Italian Inn, featured in onmilwaukee.com's In Search of the Perfect Pizza in January 2013. Near Miller Park on Blue Mound Road and on Milwaukee Avenue in South Milwaukee.
And let's bring in our 2016 champion, Kyle Krol. Congratulations, Kyle. They threw another lefty at you. This time you got by him. What was the key to grind it out, especially with the 3 frames in a row at 9 counts in the middle of the game?
It was just trying to keep my head level. I know that I had a good look out there from the last match that I had against Brandon Biondo, and I just wanted to throw as many strikes as I can because I know Kenny can rack them up just as well as I can.
And you racked up a good chunk of scholarship money this year. How much money again, Keith?
Well, Kyle, I have a $750 scholarship for you today. I wanted to also say congratulations on your redemption win today. I know last year you told me that thought Kyle Anderson was a little better than you, but I think you proved you belong here. So congratulations on your victory.
Thank you for hosting this great tournament too. Thank you.
And the hardware from A.J. Johnson, someone you're very familiar with as well.
As a past champion, man, congrats. It's great bowling. And keep the Sean Yonan title in Illinois.
And we'll be back with more bowling here from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan after this short break.
And welcome back to Lakeshore Lanes here in Sheboygan. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brylow for the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship, the college girls final. Phil?
Always fun to watch college teammates take each other on. Last year in our college boys finals, we saw Kyle Krol and Kyle Anderson, both from St. Ambrose, bowling each other. This year, a couple of college teammates with Courtney Ermisch and Steph Cieslewicz.
Both team members on Robert Morris University's bowling team, and Courtney Ermisch opens up with a strike.
Great shot there by Courtney coming out of the gates. Both these young ladies close to winning championships here in the past.
You'll be right down here, right?
Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championships, both falling just short. And we will have a first-time champion in the winner's circle at the end of this match.
I'm going to need some help here with this last name, Phil.
Cieslewicz.
Bless you. Steph Cieslewicz out of Amherst, Wisconsin in the first frame.
Yeah, her brother Brad up here this weekend. Her brother Brad bowls for Lindenwood. He's a senior. Steph being a junior at Robert Morris University in Chicago.
And missing her target there a little wide right.
And this isn't always an easy spare for right-handers. One would think hooking into the 2 and 7 pin should be fairly easy, but there's not a lot of oil in the middle of this lane on the dead man curve pattern, so a little bit of an errant shot. You can either chop the 2 straight off and not get to the 7, or overhook it past the 2 pin.
Cieslewicz with the conversion, and is just able to take out 1.
Yeah, she tried playing it a little bit straighter, and that's where the problem is. You lose the angle of the 2 going into the 7, or the ball deflecting off the 2 into the 7 pin, and an early 11-pin lead for Courtney Ermisch while she's sitting on the bench.
We've said it before, we'll say it again here. The TV lights add extra pressure.
Absolutely, and there's a $750 scholarship on top for the college girls here, and that always adds a little bit of pressure. One of the biggest scholarship prizes these youth bowlers go for all year.
Oh my goodness. Cieslewicz again, wide right, and seems to be having some problems finding her target.
Tried making a little bit move to the outside, and with the way this lane pattern is, sometimes a little straight up the outside isn't better. Sometimes you kind of have to maybe slow wheel it a little bit, move a little farther left, and trust it a little farther right with a little less ball speed to get to come back.
Right idea on the conversion, or the attempt to convert, but back-to-back opens for Cieslewicz.
And now a big 23-pin lead for Courtney Ermisch after she's only thrown 1 shot. I think that's going to help Courtney's swing stay a little loose on this second frame attempt.
Courtney Ermisch out of Big Bend here in the second, throwing an IQ Tour solid. Not solid enough, though, the wrap 10.
Good shot from Courtney, where she needs to be on the lane, a little farther left than where we see Cieslewicz playing. And the ball just eases into the pocket, little deflection, not a strong roll on the back end. And Courtney knew she was close, can't get the kick on it. And we've seen Courtney throw plenty of strikes on TV before, especially in her last couple of years of high school, winning a Top Gun Invitational Championship, and in 2015, the high school mixed doubles championship with Billy Hibbard when they were both attending McGuanago High School.
The legendary Hibbard bowling family and relations with Courtney Ermisch. Those guys are great out there. Billy and Ralph Hibbard down there in McGuanago.
Absolutely. Jay's Lanes in McGuanago, great hosts for that McGuanago High School bowling team.
And Courtney, a little high here, still trying to find that target.
Well, she's close. I mean, she's got to feel pretty good as compared to seeing her opponent struggle to get to the pocket the first 2 frames. She's been in the pocket all 3. She knows it's just subtle adjustments, and right now she's just in open avoidance mode. Leave yourself single pin spares, cover them up, let your opponent try to throw 3 or 4 strikes in a row on this tough condition and try to get back in the match.
Let's see how Stephanie Cieslewicz out of Amherst, Wisconsin bounces back after back-to-back opens. That has to mess with you mentally, Phil.
Well, she went back, talked to her coach from Robert Morris, Dale Lehman. He's in the back of the crowd here, and just try to get things straightened out, not only mentally but physically as well. A lot better out of Steph's hand, that shot.
And it looked like that talk with the coach definitely paid off here in the 3rd frame.
Yeah, moved her left, picked up her speed a little bit, stayed on line, stayed with a strong roll, and 10 back. And now, if Cieslewicz can put another strike on the board, knocked down Ermisch's lead to 12 pins.
Cieslewicz, a 2012 high school state team champion, a 2014 collegiate national team champion with Robert Morris, and they're at it again this year. Oh my goodness.
And that was just a little left to target. She had the right idea. She firmed it up as compared to the last shot in that lane when she left the washout. A little left to where she wanted to be. Ball rolls too strong, right on the head pin, nothing near the 4 and the 6.
The 4-6 is makeable, but boy, it is tough.
100,000 to 1 shot right here for that one. And a big gaping wound in the score sheet right now for Cieslewicz.
Just as she gained a little momentum in the third frame with a strike, back to an open. But the focus now to Big Ben's Courtney Ermisch in the fourth frame.
34-pin lead. She knows just stay near the pocket on every shot.
Nice release, confident, asking for that ball to move a little bit.
Peel ball, peel! Get off that spot. And she got it to work. Kept that ball tight on line. Watch the replay. Watch that ball. 5-pin does the work in the 4-7 zone. As you said, you just see the wish for the ball to peel off the spot a little harder.
Oh, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yep. Yeah. Courtney Ermisch out of Big Ben in the fifth frame.
Right at target.
Ooh, and pays the price. Comes in light and leaves the 2-4-5.
And you can see that ball because it was right at target, a little bit wide of the target line. When it made its move at the break point, it used up a lot of energy. When you see the replay here, ball just turns and it stops hooking.
Just died off there on the back end.
And she's not looking for a hook set reaction, as bowlers like to call it, where it hooks and rolls really strong in the pocket. Not what she's looking for. And not an easy spare here with the 2-4-5.
The IQ Tour Solid. That's what Courtney is throwing here today at Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan.
An open frame for Ermisch. Once again, left side spares giving these young ladies problems. We saw during the high school girls championship match, Kaitlyn Keith missed a 7-pin. Now Ermisch missing the 2-4-5 to the left, that extra oil
and
on the left side causing issues.
Steph Cieslewicz has had her own problems here today, looking to bounce back here after an open. Fifth frame. Oh my goodness. Pretty into the pocket. Stone 8-pin.
That's just a heart ripper right there,
What?
man. You've been struggling a bit. You probably throw one of your best shots of the entire day throughout 11 games of qualifying and match play, and you get a stone 8-pin. You can see right there. She left her heart on 12th board.
Over on lane 4, cleanup. Most times it's that stone 9-pin, but odd to see the 8-pin here.
Just the roll is so strong that it takes the 5 off the 8. No deflection on the bowling ball at that point in time going through the pin deck. And nothing near the 8 to take it down for the strike. She gets to the on the spare though, but pretty much in mandatory strike mode for Cieslewicz here in the 6th frame.
She'd like to thank her parents for all of their continued support throughout her college journey at Robert Morris. Needs this one and comes in flush.
That's tough. The sleeper 9 behind the 3 and the 6. The good news is, if there's any, is she took the 10-pin out. Gave herself an extra pin account, but trying to pick up that sleeper 9-pin is going to make this tough. I'd say she's got about 70% chance of converting this, fan.
3-6-9 conversion attempt for Steph Cieslewicz out of Amherst, Wisconsin. Is able to convert it, gets the break, and we go to break. Don't you go anywhere. We'll wrap up this match next from Sheboygan's Lakeshore Lanes. It's the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship here on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Why do we have so many of our televised tournaments at Castle Lanes? Because we love being part of the wild side of bowling. If you're ready to get in touch with your wild side, go to castlelanes.com.
Welcome back to Sheboygan. Lakeshore Lanes is the place for the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championship. Van McNeil alongside Phil Brilo. The action continues here with the college girls finals.
Yeah, the last of our $750 scholarship first place awards on the line right now. Courtney Ermisch with a big lead, looking to bounce back off an open frame in the fifth.
Almost crosses over and gets the strike, leaves the 6-pin.
I think coming out of the commercial break right now, Courtney will be pretty happy with the result of an errant shot only being a single pin.
Courtney would like to thank her mom and dad, grandma and grandpa for the support, even though not being there. And her friend Taylor for coming and supporting me at the tournament there.
We've seen her mom Dawn or dad Michael at so many events during her high school career. And sometimes it's tough. The college kids, even
Absolutely.
if it's not a college tournament per se, they're not bowling as a team, but they're bowling with their teammates, and they'll travel together to get here. And so always good to have the support of your friends and teammates at an event such as the Sean Yonan Memorial Youth Championships.
The two will travel back down to Illinois and Robert Morris University, where they're doing some great things in the bowling world and competing. Courtney here with the 2-7-8.
I've seen that more today than I think I've seen all season, man.
Yeah, it's like we've seen this before.
Yeah, the ball just comes in very late into the pocket, angles to just barely touch the head pin and 5-pin out. And this is no easy spare, making that railroad and getting something into the 7-pin.
But she was able to convert it. Big Ben's Courtney Ermisch with the 2-8-7 conversion.
Yeah, and she goes back to her talk to her coach Dale Lehman there. He goes, "That's how I draw it up for you in practice every time." Right, Dale?
That is textbook right there.
Such a successful program that Dale Lehman initiated down at Robert Morris University in Chicago. National championship title holders on both the men's and women's side over the last few seasons.
Amherst, Wisconsin's Steph Cieslewicz looking to bounce back and can't get a break here today, Phil.
She really overextended on that follow-through. You usually watch Steph's follow-through come up. It usually stops right about the top of her head. That one, I think she almost got her elbow up to the top of her head there. She really gave it a little extra. Unfortunately, it pulled it across her body. You can see before that ball's even through the arrows, she knows not a good shot on her part.
In the body language. Could be one of those cases, we've said it before on the telecast here, paralysis through analysis. Oh no, a miss of the 10-pin.
Well, it's not done with yet, but it's real close, fan. Cieslewicz now in mandatory strike mode just to get to 180 if she can strike out frames 8, 9, and 10. The good news for Cieslewicz is Ermisch, if she goes strike spare the rest of the way out, is in the 180s as well, but it has to start here for Steph Cieslewicz.
Cieslewicz throwing the IQ toward 30 and finds a strike in the 8th.
Keeps her in the game, lots of work to go, and unfortunately for Cieslewicz, it's going to take a little assistance from Courtney Ermisch to get back into this match.
A 34-pin lead as we head into the 8th for Big Ben's Courtney Ermisch. Solid pocket strike, Phil.
8-pin kind of flirted with her for a second there, kind of teased her saying, "I might stand," but goes down, last one to go down, and that's got to make Courtney feel pretty good about just needing to stay clean the last two frames no matter what Cieslewicz does. Look at that pump through the shot there by Ermisch. Knows she threw it well and needs to come up and throw it well one more time.
She's done it before, a 279 for a high game, a 700 series for sure, and looking for a strike. Instead, leaves the 3-6.
Yeah, little side roll on that release. She got under that one a little bit at the foul line. Probably just tried helping it a bit, lane being a little tighter. Watch that ball. Sliced her a little more angular when it got to the head pin. Leaves just the 3-6, you can see right there. Stay loose with the swing, take the chop out of play, make the spare.
Cannot give it up yet, though. Be consistent, make those spares, and Courtney Ermisch out of Big Bend, Wisconsin does.
So right now, Ermisch, she goes strike spare in the 9th. She's at 184. 180 is the maximum now for Cieslewicz, but it has to start here with another strike in the 9th frame. Otherwise, the championship's going to go to Ermisch.
A must-strike situation for Amherst, Wisconsin's Stephanie Cieslewicz. Oh, my goodness.
A little right at target. She had the speed and roll she was looking for, Van, but just right at target, and the 2-8 stands, and you can see Courtney knows right there, no matter what.
That is a winner.
That's $750 in scholarship money going home with Courtney Ermisch, but not a bad day for Steph Cieslewicz either. She's going to take home $450 for second. And, boy, all the great scholarship awards again for these kids. With all the money that Keith, Yonan, and his family raised for this event, the biggest one-day scholarship tournament in the Midwest right here in Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
And over its 11-year run, the Yonan Memorial Youth Bowling Tournament has brought in over $170,000 in scholarship funds. So doing great things for our community here.
And 130-plus bowlers here in Sheboygan today for this event. 4 different divisions, spectacular amount of bowlers from all over the Midwest. We had bowlers from Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, Minnesota, New Jersey. Well, you know, he's in school in Illinois, but we'll use that. Well, we had Ben on our adult championship here for the Sean Yonan Memorial. We had Ben Pilardi out of Louisville, Kentucky.
Absolutely.
Who was up here with Stephanie's brother Brad. They're both teammates at Lindenwood University, and he took home that $1,000 cash award in the adult Yonan championships.
It's nice to see the entire bowling community, both the adults and the youth side, rally around an important cause in a tournament like this for Sean Yonan. And Keith has been doing nothing but great things.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, between the adult event and this youth event, there was a local only for the Sheboygan Bowling Association youth bowlers scratch event as well, and that attracted a full field of 72 bowlers that bowled in 4 different divisions, and they awarded scholarship money to those youth bowlers as well.
So, like we've been saying, lots of money raised here this weekend in the past 11 years. If you want to get involved, seek out the Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament page on Facebook and get in on the action. You'll get the updates as to when the next tournaments will be and all of that stuff. Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament, that's the name page on Facebook.
Yeah. Another great shot by Courtney Ermisch to get that championship wrapped up. Still has a chance for 194 if she can strike out. Making that ball double. Hey, if you're going to go out big. Even if you got the championship wrapped up. You see Coach Dale Lehman in your upper left corner there. A little round of applause for his player, and sure Dale's pretty proud of both these young ladies and the effort they put out on the lanes today.
Absolutely. Both of them bowled down in Chicago for Robert Morris University, the bowling force that is.
Let's see if she can get the last one here.
Come on, Courtney. Oh, through the head pin, but that's where you want to leave something like that, right there.
191-149. Courtney Ermisch takes home this college girls title, Van.
That's going to do it from Lakeshore Lanes in Sheboygan, the 2016 Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Championship. We'll talk to our winners next on Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.
Eileen's Bowling Buddy, used by high school and college coaches and members of the PBA Tour to train, warm up, and rehab. Get all the information at eileensbowlingbuddy.com. Providing premier equipment sales and services to Wisconsin bowlers since 1973. Check out our Wall of Fame and our current specials at bpsmilwaukee.com.
And now let's bring in our champion, Courtney Ermisch. Courtney, come on in. A little tough out there. Filling frames was key. What was the key to keeping the head on straight and keep throwing marks out there?
I just have to fill frames. We've learned that all season, and it came there, and that's all I had to do. So,
and now you've got your first Sean Yonan Memorial title under your belt, and Keith Yonan's got some scholarship money for you.
All right. Courtney, I have a $750 check for you today. Congratulations and welcome to the Yonan champion family.
Thank you.
And AJ Johnson with your hardware?
As a past champion, it's my honor to pass this along. Welcome to the family.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Great bowling.
Oh, this is heavy.
Great bowling by all of our players all weekend long, and Van McNeil and I will be back to wrap this up after this short break.
Phil, some unbelievable bowling here at Lakeshore Lanes this weekend with the Sean Yonan Memorial Bowling Tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they brought in over 140 of the best bowlers in the Midwest here for youth. Fought it out for all that scholarship money, over $13,000 in scholarship money awarded, and can't wait to come back next year for the 12th annual.
Absolutely. LakeshoreLanes.com for even more. The 12th annual will be even bigger and better. So far, through the 11 years, over $170,000 worth of scholarships.
Yeah, just a great job that Keith Yonan and his family do in memory of Keith's son, Sean, and they just keep rolling. It keeps getting better and better year after year.
And a very big thank you to our host here at Lakeshore Lanes. The entire crew have been nothing but great to us this entire weekend. So come on over here to Sheboygan, do some bowling here at Lakeshore Lanes. Until next time, Phil Brylow, I'm Van McNeil. Thanks for watching Time Warner Cable Sports Channel.